Okay, welcome everyone. First test stream. We're going to be doing a quick little hop from Frankfurt to one of my favorite cities in Norway, Bergen. It's quite a scenic approach. Let me just turn the music down here. And we are in the iniBuilds A350. Once we get all set up and start boarding, I'll walk through some of the systems as I go. And let's get started. So first we shall get some power to the plane, turn the ground power on, get the batteries turned on, fuel pumps can come on, crew oxygen supply, we kind of need that, and let's align our navigation. So while that loads, we shall get our plane loaded up. So reload SimBrief and request boarding. There we go. Jetway's connecting. And the luggage carts are on the way. Alright. So while that loads up, I'm just gonna quickly get my flight plan inserted here. Alrighty, and you just heard the printer go off there. You can take that out. So flight number 874, we are leaving out of Frankfurt and going over to Bergen. And there's our departure runway, 25 center, arrival runway 17.
Boarding has commenced, Captain.
Thank you for that. Alrighty, back to the FMC. We'll request our winds. Clear the scratch pad there. So, quick overview of the flight. Let's get it loaded up here. And let's get the satellite. Alrighty, so currently we are on stand Alpha 62 Bravo, and we will be taxiing out. And where's 25 center? So it's not that long. We'll be probably going taxiway November Lima, and over to 25 center for a departure, and then immediate right turn. Then we're basically going to be turning south before we turn north out of the departure. And once we pass Meerun, we will be on our route. Probably about an hour and 30 minutes airtime before we start descending into Bergen. And luckily we get the southbound approach, which is pretty scenic. So we'll do ILS Whiskey runway 17 via Gilva. And that'll be our approach fix. And Bergen's a fairly small airport. I mean, it's just one runway, one terminal. But there is some nice scenery to be seen with all these mountains in the way. Alrighty, so let's get started. So departure. Go runway 25 center. And let me just get it pulled up here on my iPad. And our actual departure is going to be Meerun 8 Mike. And we'll insert that. Alrighty. And no, I'm not kicking out any passengers here. Alrighty. Just gotta remember to keep looking at the chat every now and then. Alright, so we got our departure. Now we go to arrival. We'll select runway 17, and our navigation's been aligned. Clear that. And approaches ILS Whiskey 17. And we'll put in our star, which is Beta 2 November. And I believe it was Gilva. Yes, Gilva is our transition for the approach. We'll insert that. and then just quickly check for any discontinuities in the route. Well, it looks like we're all good. We'll go over to performance, and because we're pretty light today, we're gonna go, instead of auto derate, we're gonna go the full climb power. Alrighty, flight plan is all set up. Let's get our panels here all set. So taxi lights, constraints on the nav display, weather radar, and we'll do airports. We'll do the same for the Copilot side. And let's actually get the airport chart loaded up there as well. Don't worry, Jose will go off the plane once the Welch service has been started. It's funny you asked that, Lucas, because one of the features in this plane is you can go into situations, and it's just a bit laggy here just because the terminal chart's loading in the nav display. Look at that, unruly passenger. You can get Jose put right into that category. Alright, there we go. Our airport chart has loaded up. So we'll go to nav. We'll center it. So we got all your stand numbers there. And while we wait for that, we can actually go into our communications page and request our IFR clearance. We're on the SayIntentions AI network. So we'll go to request. And before we do that, let's actually turn the radios on. So VHF1, just a tad bit there. And in the SayIntentions AI panel, what were we going to do? So Scandinavian 874, that's good. We are going to ATIS.
Temperature 17, dew point 10, QNH 1006, ILS X-ray runway 07 center, ILS 0 runway 07 right, and ILS Yankee runway 07 left in use. Landing and departing runway 07 center, runway 07 right, and runway 07 left. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have whiskey.
Whiskey is our ATIS code.
Frankfurt Airport information X-ray 23000.
And we can get rid of that and go over to ground. Actually, before I forget, I'm going to switch the communications over to the Copilot. I'll turn that down. What gate were we at? Alpha 62 Bravo. Just gonna put Alpha 62 because I think the Bravo prefix might screw that up. So we can transfer that to our mailbox and send it out to ATC. So we'll send that. Perfect. And in the meantime, we'll request refueling. There we go. Fuel truck is on its way. 146 of 248 passengers boarded. Get rid of the chart there because it does lag out everything quite badly. And you can actually see the passengers boarding.
Ground to flight deck, fuel truck is on its way.
Thank you for that. Let's take a look. Yep, baggage is still being loaded. Passengers still being loaded. Alright. Now, message record. All messages. That's our initial load.
Ground to flight deck, baggage loading complete.
Thank you. Baggage loading complete. actually turn the logo lights on. And emergency lights, no mobile, no smoking, and seatbelt signs all to auto. And we got our ATC message here. So clear to Bergen Airport, maintain 5,000, departure on 118.505, squawk 3255. So 3255, our co-pilots entered that, and expect runway 25 center, so perfect. We'll set the altitude to 5,000. And we are good. Alright, fuel truck is in
Refueling
position.
service is underway.
Let's do a quick little walk around while that happens. There we go. I must say I do really like this SAS livery and the silver writing there. A lot of attention to detail on this thing. Pop her on. And start pumping her, buddy. Regular 87 on pump 5, please. Just gonna sneak right past you here, bud. Alright, fuel is pumping, that's good. We got a Lufthansa A320 taxiing out there. Already main gear looks good. No fuel leaks, no hydraulic leaks. And we are set. Let's go back in and see where they are with the fuel. So 52 seconds left in fuel. There we go. Passengers are also almost done. Let's just pull up the load sheet real quick, even though GSX is handling it. And take off performance. Let's get our terminal charts all set up. So search for Frankfurt, and we are looking for, you just pull it up on the iPad.
Captain, everyone's aboard. Bags are loaded. Cabin is secure.
Thank you. So 10-3M. Jesus, there's a lot of airport charts in here. 10-3A1, 10-3A. Where the hell is it? Oh, there we go. 10-3N1. 10-3M, that's the one we need. So I'll pin that. And we need 10-3 Quebec. 10-3 Quebec. Overlay, there we go. That's all set. Alrighty. There we go. So DF180, Roxap, Adevo, Lisku, and then Tabum, and then that takes us north to our transition, which is Marin. Alright, and while we're here, let's just pull up the airport briefing, which is 10-9. 10-9, there we go. 10-9 as well. Let's switch it to night mode. There we go. For details, see parking stands east. Oh, I'm good. So we'll reset our barometer, get it over the inhugs, and we can close this as well. Clear to ENBR, squawk 5000. Yeah, we will comply, and we can send that back to ATC. So let's just pull up SimBrief and check our block fuel. So block fuel 34,700 pounds. So that's the magic number we're looking for. 34,700. Refueling is complete. Everything is complete. Prepare for pushback.
Ground to flight deck, refueling completed.
Refueling has been completed. So we go over to the init page and let's initialize our weights. There you hear the door closing. So 0 fuel weight, enter.
Ground to flight deck, preparing to push.
Block fuel, enter. And actually, I was gonna forget. Let's get the APU fired up here. So passenger count is, what else is the passenger count? Oh, don't interrupt pushback.
Ground to flight deck, bypass pin inserted, standby for pushback.
Hope they don't start pushing me back before the APU kicks on. Where's our passenger count? Load sheet, passengers 248. 248 passengers, enter. Perfect. And now we do our takeoff performance calculation. So we'll go into here, sync the FMS, and sync the weather conditions, and compute. Alright, so V1 speed is 153, V rotate is 154, and V2 is 159, and we are doing flaps 2, thrust reduction altitude of 1,300 feet, and engine out acceleration altitude also the same. So let's send that to FMC. You can hear the printer go off. Confirm takeoff speeds. And we can rip that and bring it over here. And we're perfect. Yeah, let's actually request push and start. There we go. Still kind of getting used to this.
Frankfurt ground, Scandinavian 874, requesting pushback and start.
Still getting used to the SayIntentions AI, so it's probably gonna end up screwing us up at some point here. Push and start approved. What's our APU like?
Push and start approved. Scandinavian 874.
Already APU set. So we shall turn the APU on. Beacon lights can come on. That'll disconnect the ground power, and it is moving us forward because it's a bug with GSX. Hopefully it stops at some point. Gonna stop, or am I going right through the building here? Nice. It crashed before we even left the gate. There we go. No, we're not going to do that. Okay, old school it is. So manual pushback, release park and brake, and reverse. Alright, and alright, so ignition start 1 and 2. Set. And I'm just gonna restart SayIntentions here. I don't know what's going on with it. I think it's because of the GSX. So I'll request IFR clearance. I'm just doing it on the second screen here. Alright, so engines are firing up.
Frankfurt clearance, Scandinavian 874. We're ready to receive our IFR clearance.
The engine spool of these things is quite nice.
Scandinavian 874, cleared to Flesland via the Maron 8 Mike departure. Runway 25 center. Initial climb 4000. Departure on 118.505. Squawk 4324.
Get our seat position set up here. And we can
Frankfurt
stop
clearance,
the pushback.
Scandinavian 874. Cleared to Flesland via Maru 8 Mike departure. Runway 25 center. Initial climb to 4,000 feet. Departure frequency is 118.505. Squawk 4324.
Alrighty, so ignition start can come to normal. And let's go through our checks. Spoilers armed, flaps are 2, working our way up.
On behalf of Scandinavian Airlines,
Auto
I'm
brakes
Emma, your flight attendant for today. We're
APU
delighted
master
to have you on
off
board as we
and
journey to
APU
Bergen.
bleed off.
Please take your seats
Taxi
according
lights
to your
on.
boarding passes and stow your
And
hand
let's
luggage
get
safely.
the
If
surveillance
you need any
mode turned
assistance,
on.
Don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you for flying with us.
So, weather radar, predictive wind shear, transponders on, TARA, traffic advisory and resolution advisory both turned on. And we can see the traffic popping up here on our nav display. There we go. And let's request taxi clearance. Go ahead and request taxi clearance. Takes a while for them to think about what I just said. Is it gonna work? Ground. Oh, my controls are not working, that's why. Now it's pushback. Talk to ATC.
Cabin attendants, arm doors, and cross-check. Welcome aboard, folks. We are headed to Bergen, and the estimated flight time is 1 hour and 45 minutes. Please pay close attention to the upcoming safety demonstration, as it contains important information, even for frequent flyers. Fasten your seatbelts by inserting the metal tip into the buckle and pulling the strap to tighten. The seatbelt must be fastened whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. Please return your seatbacks and tray tables to the upright position and ensure window blinds are opened for takeoff and landing.
Frankfurt ground, Scandinavian
Mobile phones and
874. We're ready to
electronic devices
taxi.
must be set to flight mode, and
And
laptops
takeoff
should be
config
securely
tests.
stowed during takeoff and landing. Smoking
We'll
and the use of e-cigarettes
that.
are prohibited anywhere on board.
Scandinavian
Take
874,
off
Frankfurt
mode.
ground,
Oxygen
taxi
masks
to
will
holding
drop
point runway
automatically
25 center
All
via
masks
November
are
8 orange.
Place it over your
Link
nose.
5, November 7, November 4,
Remember to
Lima,
secure
Lima
your
3.
mask before assisting others. Life vests are located under your seat. To put it on, pull it over your head and fasten it. Inflate it only after leaving the aircraft. Floor level lighting will guide you to the nearest
Holding
exit,
point runway
which is
25
near the
center
door.
via November 8 orange.
There are 2 exits
Link 5,
located
November
at the front
7,
and
November,
rear of the
November
cabin.
4, Lima,
In case
Lima
of
3.
evacuation,
Scandinavian
all personal
874.
belongings behind and follow all safety instructions from the crew. If any electronic device becomes hot or catches fire,
No way I'm remembering
please
those
inform
taxi
the crew
instructions. So
immediately.
just
Safety
turn on
information
the
card
taxi
contains
ribbon
all details.
and we
Thank you for your
can
attention.
head out. Alright, we can get rid of this for now. Not really a fan of Airbus in general, but I think with the A350 they've really done it. Especially iniBuilds. Couple little quirks with it, but once you get used to like the way it flies, it's not too bad. It's definitely nothing like the Boeings, I'll tell you that. 777 behaves way differently than this.
Lufthansa 1 Lima Alpha, pushback approved.
Let me actually get the airport chart up on my iPad here. So November, I think she said Lima 3, which is up there somewhere. And then we turn off onto 25 Center. Get a little bit more power on these engines, because we are in a rush. Quick little flight control check while we're here. Full left, green, neutral, full right, all green, neutral, full up, all green, neutral, full down, all green, neutral. Flight control check good. Oh, I missed my turn doing all that. It's okay, we'll take the next one. We're still on ground, that's good. And there's the Lufthansa A320 taking off there.
Scandinavian 874, contact tower on 119.905. Auf Wiedersehen.
Contacting tower on 119.905. Scandinavian 874.
Yeah, once we're in the air, I'll try and figure out what the button mappings,
Frankfurt
why the
tower,
button mappings screwed
Scandinavian
up.
874 heavy. Good evening. Holding short 25 center, ready for departure.
I have a feeling they're gonna give it to us straight away.
Scandinavian 874 heavy, Frankfurt tower, runway 25 center, winds calm, cleared for takeoff.
Takeoff, landing lights on, strobes are on, and HUD is down.
Runway 25 center, cleared for takeoff. Scandinavian 874 heavy.
There we go,
Approaching
cleared for
runway
takeoff.
25 center.
What was that, center? Jesus. Alright, line up. And 50% throttle. Wait for them to equalize. throttle to flex. V1, rotate. Nice and easy. And we can bring the gear up, positive rate.
Lufthansa 9 Alpha Victor, wind 260 at 13, runway 25 right, clear to land.
Oh, there's another plane behind us. We'll stick the autopilot on.
Scandinavian 874, heavy, contact Frankfurt departure on 118.505.
Contacting Frankfurt departure on 118.505. Scandinavian 874 heavy. Frankfurt departure. Scandinavian 874 heavy. Good evening. Climbing through 1,500.
Alright, so throttle levers to climb. There we go.
Scandinavian 874 heavy, Frankfurt departure identified. Climb flight level 060.
On flight level 060, got it. 060 set. And flaps can come up 1.
Climbing flight level 060. Scandinavian 874 heavy.
And as we start to accelerate, the flaps will reduce, and it'll just be the slats in the front and the leading edge of the wing. And because we're in Germany, our transition is 5,000 feet, so we can set that to standard. Why is it not setting?
Scandinavian 874, climb flight level 140.
There we go.
Climbing flight level 140. Scandinavian 874.
Climb 140, got it. So instead of open climb, we'll do managed climb. And just in the nav display here, you can see we are going to be making that turn now. And there comes the flaps. And I just realized this is not set. There we go. Now you guys can have the statistics up on the top there. Alright, so now that we're climbing out, Copilot's got the comms. Let's figure out why this intercom is not working. So comm channel, velocity 1 flight stick. Oh, that's no, that's no. No, why aren't the buttons doing anything? Okay, so let's do manual. What button is this? Button 6.
Dear guests, the use of approved electronic devices is now permitted in flight mode. Cabin service will begin shortly. Thank you for your attention.
Well, I don't know why that's not working. I think I need to restart it. Oh, that's okay. And flaps can come up to 0. I never see it retracting. And landing lights can also come off. We got the taxi lights shut off as well. And strobe to auto. So ground spoilers we can also disarm. And what's our only message? Company message. Let's see, it's probably our final load sheet. Oh, there it is. go. Clear messages, and there's another plane there, 2,700 feet above, and climbing. And climb 140 is done. What else we got going on? So now that we're out, let's take a look at the terminal charts.
874, climb flight level 240.
Climbing flight level 240, Scandinavian 874.
Climbing 240. There we go. Alright, so 5 minutes air time, 30,000 pounds of fuel, and we are looking good. So I'll let you guys settle in for a little bit, and while I try and figure out this this SayIntentions AI issue, because I would like to take over radio communications before we get down to Bergen.
Scandinavian 874, contact Langen radar on 127.725.
Contacting Langen radar on 127.725. Scandinavian 874. Langen radar, Scandinavian 874 heavy. Good evening. Climbing through flight level 160 for flight level 240.
Scandinavian 874, Langen radar identified. Good evening.
Where's Frankfurt in the back there?
X-ray out of flight level 210 for flight level 240.
Lufthansa 71 X-ray. Good evening.
Langen radar center, Lufthansa 71 X-ray, radio check, how do you read?
Lufthansa 71 X-ray, read you 5x5. Scandinavian 874, traffic at your 12 o'clock, 2 miles, at flight level 200320 NEO.
Looking for the traffic, Scandinavian 874.
Over 6 November Hotel, with you out of flight level 200 climbing.
Over 6 November Hotel, good evening. Scandinavian 874, speed 280 for spacing.
Speed 280 for spacing. Scandinavian 874.
That's interesting.
Lufthansa 88 Hotel, contact Brussels Control on 125.0. Good evening.
Switching to 125.0, Lufthansa 88 Hotel. Lufthansa 22 Mike, flight level 190 for flight level 160.
Lufthansa 22 Mike, Langen Radar Center identified.
Speed 280 for spacing. Scandinavian 874.
Alright, we got quite a bit of traffic here.
Langen radar center, Lufthansa 6 Lima Juliet with you, out of flight level 240 climbing.
Lufthansa 6 Lima Juliet, good evening.
I'm actually going to advance the time a little bit.
Lufthansa 6 Lima Juliet, climb to flight level 280.
Dear guests,
Climbing to flight
the
level
cabin crew will
280,
now begin the
Lufthansa
snack
6
and
Lima
beverage
Juliet.
service. We have some delightful
Oh,
options
yes.
for you today, including our signature Scandinavian pastries and refreshing berry juices. After the service, selected items from the Scandinavian Airlines shop will be available for you to browse. Thank you for your attention, and enjoy your flight.
Alright, snack and beverage service has commenced. Let's get the Welchers out.
Langen radar, Scandinavian 874 Heavy. Good evening, maintaining flight level 240.
Langen radar. Langen radar's out for a bathroom break.
Identified.
It's not acknowledging me at all. Check FMS message. Flight plan 240. Let's see. Max flight level 410. Let's request 340.
Express 62 Quebec, when ready, descend to flight level 220.
Leaving for flight level 220, Sun Express 62 Quebec.
See if they're gonna give us 340.
Langen radar, Scandinavian 874, requesting a climb to altitude.
Scandinavian 874, climb flight level 240.
We are at 240.
Climbing flight level 240, Scandinavian 874.
We're already there, buddy.
Sunturk 1258 identified.
Put the speed in back to managed mode now.
Langen radar center, 842, flight level 360.
Scandinavian 842, good evening. Scandinavian 874, no speed restrictions, resume normal speed.
No speed restrictions, resuming normal speed. Scandinavian 874.
Langen radar center, Lufthansa 3 Yankee Alpha with you, flight level 180.
Lufthansa 3 Yankee Alpha, identified.
Let's request 340 again.
Langen radar, Scandinavian 874, requesting a climb to altitude.
Scandinavian 874, climb flight level 240.
Okay. Let's try 8,000 feet then.
Turkish 3 Echo Golf, descend to flight level 160, expect lower.
Climb flight level 240, Scandinavian 874. Langen radar, Scandinavian 874, requesting a climb to altitude.
Scandinavian 874, climb flight level 2400.
Langen radar center, Channing Site 1 Hotel Tango at flight level 380.
Climb flight level 240, Scandinavian 874.
Swiss 1 Mike Hotel, when ready, descend to flight level 220.
Down to flight level 220, Swiss 1 Mike Hotel.
Turkish 3 Echo Golf, continue climb to flight level 230.
Flight level 230, Turkish 3 Echo Golf. Langen Radar Center, Condor 8 Hotel Foxtrot, flight level 330.
Condor 8 Hotel Foxtrot, roger. Swiss 1 Mike Hotel, maintain 290 knots.
290 knots, Swiss 1 Mike Hotel.
Turkish 3 Echo Golf, continue climb to flight level 280.
Climbing flight level 280, Turkish 3 Echo Golf.
Scandinavian 874, speed 280 for spacing.
Speed 280 for spacing, Scandinavian 874.
Ryanair 26 Romeo Yankee, contact Bremen Radar Center on 128.76, so long.
Bremen Radar Center 128.76. Good evening, Ryanair 26 Romeo Yankee.
Emirates 19, contact Dutch Mill Center on 118.805.
118.805, Emirates 19.
Scandinavian 842, contact Bremen Radar Center on 128.76, so long.
128.76, Scandinavian 842.
Contact Brussels Control on 125.0. Good evening.
Brussels Control 125.0, good evening. France Soleil 89 November, November.
Sunturk 1258, traffic 11 o'clock and 10 miles, opposite direction.
You have the traffic, Sunturk 1258.
Scandinavian 874, resume normal speed, speed restrictions cancelled.
Resuming normal speed, speed restrictions canceled. Scandinavian 874.
Lufthansa 3 Yankee Alpha, contact Munich Radar Center on 126.175. Good evening.
Switching to 126.175, Lufthansa 3 Yankee Alpha.
Wizz Air 3657, contact Bremen Radar Center on 128.76. Good evening.
Over to Bremen Radar Center on 128.76, Wizz Air 3657.
Alpha 9 Golf Tango, contact Brussels Control on 125.0. So long.
125.0, good evening, Alpha 9 Golf Tango. Turkish 8 Delta Papa, climbing flight level 330.
Turkish 8 Delta Papa, Langen Radar Center identified. Quebec, contact Dutch Mill Center on 118.805. Good evening.
118.805, Column 30, Quebec.
Scandinavian 874, please expedite your descent to flight level 240.
Expediting descent to flight level 240. Scandinavian 874.
Alpha. Scandinavian 874.
Contacting Bremen radar on 125.025. Scandinavian 874. Bremen radar, Scandinavian 874 heavy. Good evening with you, flight level 400.
Scandinavian 874, Bremen radar identified. Good evening. Scandinavian 874, maintain flight level 240. Flight level 400 not approved. Scandinavian 874, descend flight level 390.
Descending flight level 390. Scandinavian 874.
Bremen radar center, Thai 916, flight level 370.
Thai 916 identified.
Thai 916, right smooth at flight level 370.
Thai 916, roger that. Pi reps are appreciated. contact Dutch Mill Center on 118.805. So long.
Dutch Mill Center 118.805. Good evening, Thai 916.
Scandinavian 48 Delta at flight level 180.
Scandinavian 48 Delta, roger.
Bremen Radar Center, Lufthansa 2 Papa Victor at flight level 270.
Lufthansa 2 Papa Victor identified. Bremen Radar Center, Scandinavian 579 with you at flight level 370.
Scandinavian 579, roger.
EVA 67, contact Dutch Mill Center on 118.805. Good evening.
Over to Dutch Mill Center on 118.805, EVA 67.
Hey, Captain. Would you like anything to drink or a small snack?
China Southern 303, contact Dutch Mill Center on 118.805. So long.
118.805, China Southern 303. Raymond Radar Center. Scandinavian 48 Delta. Picking up occasional moderate turbulence. 18,000.
Scandinavian 48 Delta, copy the turbulence, will advise traffic. Ryanair 9 Sierra Whiskey, contact Dutch Mill Center on 118.805. So long. Dutch Mill Center 118.805. Good evening, Ryanair 9 Sierra Whiskey. Scandinavian 579, contact Dutch Mill Center on 118.805. Good evening. Dutch Mill Center 118.805. Good evening, Scandinavian 579. Lufthansa 7 Juliet Victor, contact Langen Radar Center on 129.175. So long. 129.175. Good evening, Lufthansa 7 Juliet Victor. Bravo 62 Delta, flight level 340. Bravo 62 Delta, good evening. Scandinavian 874, contact Bremen radar on 124.075.
Contacting Bremen radar on 124.075. Scandinavian 874. Bremen radar, Scandinavian 874 heavy. Good evening, maintaining flight level 390.
Scandinavian 874, Bremen radar identified. Good evening. Alpine 73, Charlie Golf, climb flight level 240.
Leaving flight level 210 for flight level 240. Alpine 73 Charlie Golf.
Bohai 7965, contact Dutch Mill Center on 118.805, so long.
Over to Dutch Mill Center on 118.805, Bohai 7965.
Scandinavian 874, contact Copenhagen Control on 136.555.
Contacting Copenhagen Control on 136.555. Scandinavian 874. Copenhagen Control, Scandinavian 874 heavy. Good evening with you, flight level 390.
Scandinavian 874, Copenhagen Control identified. Good evening.
Scandinavian 842 at flight level 360.
Scandinavian 842 identified. Good evening.
Scandinavian 528, comp check.
Scandinavian 528, 5x5. contact Bremen Radar Center on 124.075. Good evening.
Bremen Radar Center 124.075. Good evening, Alpha 9 Victor Charlie.
Scandinavian 874, expect the BADAB 2 November arrival. I'll have you descending in about 20 minutes.
Expecting BADAB 2 November arrival. We'll wait for descent instructions. Scandinavian 874.
Viking 584 identified. Good evening. Delta, roger. Scandinavian 1879, flight level 180. Scandinavian 1879, roger.
Copenhagen Control, Finnair 8 Alpha Foxtrot, flight level 380 for flight level 400.
Finnair 8 Alpha Foxtrot, roger. Scandinavian 874, contact Polaris Control on 120.655.
Contacting Polaris Control on 120.655. Scandinavian 874. Polaris Control, Scandinavian 874 Heavy. Good evening with you, flight level 390.
Scandinavian 874, Polaris Control identified. Good evening. Finnair 1 Papa Golf identified. Finnair 1 Papa Golf, maintain 260 or greater.
Going to 260, Finnair 1 Papa Golf. Wizz Air 8745, flight level 330.
Wizz Air 8745 identified. 874, descend via Badab 2 November to 4000 into Fleslin, QNH 909 or 3.
Descend via Bada 2 November to 4000 into Fleslin. QNH 993. Scandinavian 874.
Folks, we have left our cruising altitude and have started our approach to Bergen. Please return to your seats, stow any tables, and fasten your seatbelts. The use of the lavatories is no longer allowed. Thank you.
Wizz Air 8745, climb flight level 360.
Climb flight level 360, Wizz Air 8745.
Alright, we've begun our descent into Bergen. We're going to expect gate 10. And it looks like we're going to have some weather coming up before landing. Let's have a look here. Yeah, just some light showers, just on and off.
Finn Air 1 Papa Golf, descend to flight level 300 at your discretion.
A lot of military training going on.
For flight level 300, Finn Air 1 Papa Golf. Wizz Air 8745, with you descending flight level 310 for flight level 240.
Just gonna go for a quick pre-landing coffee.
Polaris control identified. Finn Air 1 Papa Golf, continue descent to flight level 270.
Leaving for flight level 270, Finn Air 1 Papa Golf.
Finn Air 1 Papa Golf, descend to flight level 250, expect lower.
Descending to flight level 250, Finn Air 1 Papa Golf.
flight level 220.
Descending to flight level 220, Finnair 1 Papa Golf.
Wizz Air 8745, continue descent to flight level 170.
Out of flight level 240 for flight level 170, Wizz Air 8745.
Already. Looks like the storm's kind of getting bad over here. Let's see how it goes.
Finnair 1 Papa Golf, continue descent to flight level 190.
Well, let's see where
Descending
these
to
other
flight level
planes are.
190, Finnair 1 Papa Golf. How do you read it?
Wizz Air 8745, you're loud and clear. Finnair 1 Papa Golf, continue descent to flight level 170.
Leaving flight level 210 for flight level 170, Finnair 1 Papa Golf.
Let's get the landing performance all set here. Landing technique, we'll do manual, brake mode, medium. Yeah, that's good. And we shall do our brake to vacate here in a second.
Wizz Air 8745, descend to flight level 110, expect lower.
Leaving for flight level 110, Wizz Air 8745.
There we go, brake to vacate's active. Go back to the nav. And we can arm our spoilers. Let's get some floodlights in here.
Finnair 1 Papa Golf, descend flight level 140.
And I'm just gonna make
Descending
it
flight level
just a bit
140,
darker.
Finnair 1 Papa Golf.
Scandinavian 874, contact Polaris Control on 124.58.
Contacting Polaris Control on 124.58. Scandinavian 874. Polaris Control, Scandinavian 874 Heavy. Good evening, flight level 260 for 4,000.
Scandinavian 874 Polaris Control identified. Go to Austin.
Alright, we'll probably take over manual radio in a second.
Alpha Papa, roger.
Just looks absolutely wonderful.
Polaris Control, Scandinavian 2546 at flight level 340. Scandinavian 2546, good evening. Scandinavian 874, contact Flesland approach on 121.005.
Contacting Flesland approach on 121.005. Scandinavian 874. Flesland approach, Scandinavian 874 heavy. Good evening. Flight level 180 for 4,000.
Scandinavian 874, heavy, Flesland approach identified. Good evening, expect the ILS Whiskey runway 17 approach into Flesland. Let me know you've got information, Papa.
Oh, look at that, a rainbow.
Expecting the ILS
Very
Whiskey
subtle
Husky
right
runway 17 approach into Flesland. Scandinavian 874 heavy.
Oh, this looks absolutely marvelous. And this is why I love Flight Simulator. Just cloud surfing here. It's gonna be nice when you break through these clouds. Especially since the storm's getting pretty intense right around here. Yeah, I'll try to have a good landing. It's gonna be pretty stormy right around here on the final. So speaking of which, yeah, so right around here, BR620 waypoint, right when we make that final turn over to Gilva, it's gonna get pretty bumpy. All right, let's turn the game down just slightly. How's that? That better? Better on the voice? And there we go, we're descending through the clouds. I'm just going to turn down the display brightness a little bit. Oh yeah. Breaking into the clouds. Oh, that looks absolutely wonderful. Yeah, that storm's getting pretty damn bad. What's our outside air temperature here? 5 degrees. Do we want anti-ice? We'll see if the plane tells us to put anti-ice on. Usually the rule of thumb is up below 5 degrees outside air temp. If you have any type of precipitation, you're supposed to turn on anti-ice. And here we are, breaking through the clouds. And closing it on 10,000. Once we get under, landing lights will come on. But we'll do the announcement now.
Folks, we are now beginning our final approach into Bergen. Please turn off your electronic devices and stow them until we arrive at the gate. Kindly put your tray tables away and ensure your seats are in the full upright position with your seatbelts fastened. The current weather in Bergen is 11 degrees Celsius with good visibility. Our assigned gate is Apron South Gate 10. Thank you for your cooperation as we prepare for landing.
And landing lights, we'll turn those on. And yeah, looks like we're getting some crosswind here. 24 knots at 259 degrees. Maybe that's a little bit low on the display brightness here. Oh, look at those. Look at those mountains. Oh yeah. She getting choppy. Alright, well, before I forget, let's turn the landing system on. It is a little early for that, but better to be safe than sorry. And one final approach briefing. So we're gonna come around, loop around over the river here to be our 620, then come straight down to Gilva before we take a sidestep to Bablu, and then intercept at FF17 Whiskey. And what's our minimum gonna be? Category 2 ILS, radio altimeter 105. We'll do 130 just because of the weather. I'm sure you're not supposed to pick and choose, but that's what I'm picking. So I'll put that into the performance page. So we'll do 130 feet and confirm on the PFD. Yep, 130 feet, radio altimeter, and we are good. And we are just on the edge of that storm right here. I'm wondering if we'll get any rain on the plane. Alright, ground spoilers armed, cabin ready. Do one last cabin call. Oh yeah, here we go, we're getting a bit of rain here. I just heard the rain. Come on, I want to see the raindrops on the screen. I want you guys to see that too. Because it is pretty amazing. There we go. There we go. We'll do intermittent medium. Or we just do slow. We'll do intermittent slow, sorry. Because then it's going to get pretty annoying. And over to standard barometric. Reset the altimeter, 2929. And you know, over on this side you can actually see how big that storm is off to our right. we are beginning our left turn. There we go, we can see a small glimpse of Bergen down below. And more rain. Just on the outer edge of it. And we have broken free. I don't think we'll need the wipers anymore. And last but not least, what is our intercept altitude? Okay, so 3,000 at Bablu. Okay, so we shall reset that to 3,000. Ground spoilers on, cabin ready, landing lights, taxi lights on, strobe is on auto. And speed is 220. We shall come out with flaps 1. There come the slats. Look at the volumetric cloud right on these mountains here. I gotta figure out why this stream is causing this much stuttering.
Scandinavian 874 heavy, 12 miles from Foxtrot, Foxtrot 17 Whiskey. Turn right heading 195, descend altitude 2,400 feet until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS Whiskey runway 17 approach.
Right heading 195, descend 2,400 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS Whiskey runway 17 approach. Scandinavian 874 heavy.
There we go. Heading is set. These vectors are a bit off, so I'm just going to leave it back on managed and let it fly the approach as published. Yeah, the vectoring in SayIntentions AI isn't the best from what I found out. Oh, look at that. Alright, there we go, making our final turn. 2,400, 220 knots. And 220 knots is the limit for slats, so we shall slow down to 200. And these slats should come out automatically. There we go, 1 plus flaps. Nice. And we shall slow to 180. And come out with flaps 2. And we'll listen to that once more. And wing light. Don't need it. And final approach, we'll turn the approach mode on. So there we go, land 3 single, glide slope and localizer armed. Localizer should capture in a second, and there it is.
Scandinavian 874, contact Flesland Tower on 119.105.
Switching to Flesland Tower on 119.105. Scandinavian 874. Flesland Tower, Scandinavian 874 Heavy. Good evening. On the localizer runway 17 approach.
Scandinavian 874 Heavy, Flesland Tower, runway 17, winds 230 at 7. Cleared to land.
Clear to land, final approach speed, gear down, and one more notch of flaps down to 3. And there's the rain again.
Runway 17, clear to land. Scandinavian 874 Heavy.
Two thousand check. Slowing down and flaps full. And landing checklist should be complete in a second. Looks like we're good. I don't know why it just disappeared, but... And there we are, free of the clouds. Where is downtown Bergen? And there's quite a nasty crosswind here. 14 knots. But nonetheless, we shall continue. And we're just going to throw on autopilot 2, make it land 3 dual, and see if we have a full-on approach here. One last sip of coffee before 1,000 feet.
Approaching runway 17.
Alright, taking over manual control shortly. Alright, I have the airplane. This A350 is very sensitive to input controls just because of the fly-by-wire system. I have to just make very minimal inputs here.
500.
And the crosswind definitely is not helping.
400.
Oh, there it is. There's the wind gust.
Minimum.
Minimum continue.
100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, retard.
Oh, that was not the smoothest landing. Stuttering definitely doesn't help. And full reverse. really thought that was going well right up until the last second. Auto brakes off, and 50 knots, reverse can come off.
Scandinavian 874, contact ground on 121.905.
Switching to ground on 121.905. Scandinavian 874. Pleasant ground. Scandinavian 874 heavy. Good evening. Cleared of runway. Ready to taxi to the gate.
And speed brakes up. Flaps can come to 0.
Scandinavian 874, Pleasant ground, taxi to apron south gate 10 via Alpha 7 Golf Whiskey. Good evening.
And landing lights off, taxi lights on, strobe is on auto. You can clear the ECAM of the autopilot disengage and turn the taxi path on.
Apron south gate 10 via Alpha 7 Golf Whiskey. Scandinavian 874.
Which way do you want us to go? Alpha 7 via Golf.
Folks, welcome to Bergen. Did you know that Bergen is known as the gateway to the fjords of Norway? Thank you for flying with Scandinavian Airlines. Please remain seated until we have reached our final parking position. On behalf of your flight crew, thank you for flying
Are you gonna give me the taxi ribbon here? There we go.
Local time here is 9:32 p.m. For those with connections, please note the following. Flight SK 123 to Oslo departs at 10:15 p.m. from Gate A2, and Flight SK 456 to Stockholm departs at 10:30 p.m. from Gate B3.
Nice, right on the line. Parking brakes are on. Let's get the ground power hooked up and the chocks put on and disarm the slides. And ground power is active, beacon lights off, taxi off, and engine shut down. Perfect. And GSX ain't working, so we will do this manually. We'll get the stairs 1 and stairs 4 and call for luggage. Get rid of this. And there we go. Stairs haven't arrived yet, so hopefully they'll just jump down. But other than that, thank you all very much for watching. That was one hell of a flight. A little boring near the middle, but I think the approach really made up for it. Some very nice scenic views. Sunset arrival. And the storms definitely made it interesting. But till next time.